Good afternoon, guys. This is Chris Archer, the Chief, talking today about the South Pole and North Pole. I'm going to give you some construct and I'm going to give you some ideas and show you what my mindset is on this and how things work on the flat Earth surface. And obviously, when you have a ball, you have 2 points on each end of the sphere, right? So you have a South and North Pole. So if I would just take a ball, put a stick in the middle of it, all right, or push, let's just say something obvious, like let's just take a toothpick and stick it in a cherry, all right? Just give you the idea of what we're doing here. It doesn't matter on a perfect circle, it wouldn't matter where you put the first pole as long as the pole goes directly in at 90 degrees, right? So if we start it at the top, it comes out the bottom, so we have a north and south pole, right? Let me explain something to you about the flat Earth and how the processor works here and how the cloud is above us and the processing system is at ground level here on the Earth. And again, remember, our Earth is not a round ball, but is in a round circle like a pizza, and it has valleys in between, and it goes up in the center of the Earth right there. So you have a big mountain where the Tree of Life was pulled out of. We showed this on Greenland. I showed the ridge that goes around all the land masses, that where you can see the tree was cut off. And when the trees were cut off and the water was flooded, when God flooded the earth, the trees were cut down first in Daniel 4. Before you did all that, we cut the trees down and we hewed down the trees, then we flooded it. The reason we did that is because people could take refuge in the trees, and there was probably people living in these trees because this was a gigantic piece of land. The whole earth itself in the center was part of these trees. And also, these trees were also scattered around the outsides of the earth also. So we had a massive water, we had a big sea outside of the circle of the earth where the four lands would separate between rivers that would go through these lands and ran directly through the Tree of Life. I said that the Tree of Life was cut down and pulled up above us before they flooded it. Now, in a circle, this works, and I'll show you exactly how this works, but let's take a look at this guy. He's down at the South Pole. They're talking about the AI processor and how they make these synthetic beings. It's also where they make decisions for mankind, and they study these things regarding your emotions. They use social media to guide these things, to make these decisions. So everything that you react to, all the deception that we talk about in this world every day, when I say this is not real, this is an actor, they're acting this out, the whole idea is to create a reaction. So the reaction itself can be fed into the system. The system uses the human emotions, right, all that is available and all that has been reacted to in the world, and can predict human emotions in the future when other disasters or deceptions take place. Knowing what to expect before you actually pull off a false flag is really, really, really over and beyond intelligence, and is so orchestrated and planned out that it's unbelievable. That means everything that happens in our world is planned out for long periods of time. And the fact that they're talking about these processors and the cloud itself above us in the north, this is telling me that they've been doing this for a long time. So the way we go about creating these resets and changes in mankind and civilization and sociology and economy and business and geology, all of these plans have been fed into the synthetic, demonic AI system that has, and it collects. The reason why it's so intelligent, it's not just that it's so intelligent because the devil himself is probably one of the most craftiest, most intelligent people, or entities, I wouldn't say people, but an entity that ever existed in this universe besides our Father in heaven. So that information means that he's controlling the system, which means he implemented the information. Now, that information is being checked and balanced every day as it uses the reaction of social media and things of that nature. Your electronic footprint, which means every time you touch a button on a phone or anywhere, television, anywhere, they're using everything. They're using everything to track you, so they personally know, without even using your DNA or blood or anything like that, what your tendencies are and what you do. So all that information over the years has been gathered. This has given them the information to make the resets, pull off the false flags, and understand what to expect when it does happen. That's how intelligent the system is and demonic that we run under, that it knows your emotions before your emotions even know what your emotions are going to be, like what you would think your emotions. If I told you, tell me what your emotions are 50 years from now when we blow up this building and destroy or create an earthquake that destroys everything in this area. What is your emotion? We don't really know that. I can't tell you what I'm going to feel or how I'm going to feel. I can give you an idea. But this thing here measures every disaster, every reaction, every deception, every plan, everything, anything, and all that counts up from the day of existence to the day today, until the day of non-existence. This thing has planned the whole thing out. So this thing just doesn't plan out and you don't just punch information into these synthetic entities and these machines and then just get out and it spits out information. No. The only way it can check itself is to have information already implemented into it. So the devil and the demons have implemented everything into this system through the book of knowledge, the tree of knowledge. So if I took every piece, right? Remember, God said, "Don't touch the tree of knowledge," because then you'll realize everything around you. You'll start to see it. You'll start to know it. You'll start to see the deception. You'll know you're part of it. You'll know the whole thing. It won't work, will it? So we had to pull this off. We had to deceive mankind because of what happened. We had to do it. You had to have your Messiah come. You had to have that defeated, right? You had to have that death defeated. The physical part of your life had to be defeated by the spiritual part, which is what? Which is God's power, right? So what do? We introduce this information. And by the way, everyone on here, including myself, right now, as I'm speaking, it's picking up my voice. It's getting and showing information of what people do, how they react, and how certain people react in different. Now, some of us are different, but some of us already also have the same tendencies, but may have different fingerprints, voice recognition. This thing is categorizing us into each category. So it knows exactly, right, what to expect in numbers, numerology. Remember, I don't know exactly if Chris Archer is going to do this at that time. But I do know that people like him, and lots of people like him, because I know how many people I have. I know by their reaction in the past what to expect in the future. And I can do that by punching the information into this system. Now, the knowledge of this world is only so far. It goes only so far. There's not endless knowledge. It's just being hidden. It looks like endless knowledge because you're sifting through a bunch of fake knowledge. You've really never gotten any of the real knowledge. Like, no one's ever sat down, wrote it to you, gave it to you, and said, this is it. We've given me the scriptures, and I'm taking those scriptures because I know God's word is God's word, right? I don't care what man translated it to. I don't need man to tell me that that word doesn't make sense in English, when in Hebrew it makes another, it means something else. I don't need that. I don't need that because I'm not living that way. I'm not living physical. I don't care and rely on machines. I don't need to. There was no need for it. It's like machine versus God's spirit. That's what this really is. Okay? The entity of Lucifer knows that his spirit can't defeat God. But he knows that he can defeat your spirit because you don't know any better. You have to trust in God and stop trusting in this. Anything that has to do with information in this world. If you think information is hokey, well, send it to the Holy Spirit, because he is the real sifter of this information. He's the translator, not the AI system that we use for everything in our world. So the reaction of people every day is the product of the future deceptions and how we're going to treat that deception and what we're going to do to give it to you. Now, let's go to this guy. He's in the South Pole, and I'm going to show you where this is. On a flat Earth, where is South Pole and where is the North Pole? Let me show you after we see them.
Pole gravity station. Does anyone know what this does?
You know what? I recently learned sort of what it might do.
What it might do.
Okay, in reality, we know it doesn't exist. Gravity is not what they're using. There's ether, there's density, there's mass, and there's weight. Okay, there's gases that mix with water, that mixes with the vapor and the dew. We know this. And the ether is part of that special gas, right? That is the mixture of this fake synthetic artificial intelligence, which is real AI. It's the opposite. It's like an oxymoron of realness, of who you are, right? So let's make a synthetic and create a duplicate of everything. That way you don't know. That makes everything in your world, if you're not following the Spirit of God, everything is a competition against itself. That puts you immediately under the thumb of 50%, you can get this right, or 50%, I can get this wrong. Right from birth, just from the information that you're given in this world. Automatically, you have taken 50% off of your chances to get the heck out of this world, knowing that the Spirit of God is more real than anything else that you'll ever see, even in front of your eyes, right? The Spirit is more real than the eyes that see the physical part. It's more real. It doesn't die. The physical does. It's only logic to understand that if you're physical for a temporary time, that's a test for your eternal soul. You have to look at it that way. There would be no other reason to send me to a physical earth if I was an eternal soul from the beginning, unless I had a job to do, or unless I wasn't doing my job right there. So maybe this is a test. Maybe this is the test that God did. He said, you know what? All this is good and that we did for you, and everything we did for you, we gave you everything we need. His son came down here. He did what he did, right? But you're still not accepting it because you can't even see it. You don't even know it exists, some people. We hear it in churches. We hear it over here. We hear it over here. But the other problem is, in this world, you're given 18,000 different examples of the same thing, which is God. So we're going to use AI. What do? We duplicate everything that God created. When we do that, that means everything that we try to figure out in this world has a 50% chance of failure. Okay? Now, remember, gravity doesn't even exist. That's why this man is going to tell you that he knows what it is, but that he really doesn't. Watch.
Basically, a gravimetric sensor that's it.
Okay. First of all, let me just break the word down because it's ridiculous. It's like every other English word. There's a million different words in each word and a million different suffixes and prefixes, synonyms, antonyms, and homonyms that can mean something but doesn't. Do you understand when you translate a language like Hebrew that if you have synonyms, antonyms, and homonyms that you can't get the translation correct no matter what? That's on purpose. Okay? So gravimetrical, let's go back and see that again. Hold on. What was that? I can't even remember what was it. Hold on a second.
I've recently learned sort of what it might do. What it might do. Basically, a gravimetric sensor that
can duplicate what he creates. Anything else is a mock-up, a replication. Just because I replicate something and it looks real doesn't mean the consistency is real. The soul may not be in it. Understandable. So that doesn't exist. Gravity doesn't exist. They're mocking you right now. Some of the faces on the shadows right there are ridiculous if you're looking.
there you have it, folks.
And by the way, they may not even be anywhere but in some freezer with some snow or else in some mountain area.
That's it. These are one of the side tunnels. Down these is where we keep the aliens. You have to go through this wall. It's very special access, and go all the way in there. That's where the alien research is going on.
Right.
Yeah, and if you walk up here, there's like a secret tunnel, and this thing rotates, and you can get in there, but I don't have access, sadly.
I remember we're at the South Pole, just to remind you where we're at.
Yeah, so sadly, no aliens for us today. Oh, also the Earth is flat. I don't know if you can tell.
Now let's just stop this horse shit right now, because everything they have in this video is mocking everything. I'm going to show you what the truth is. I'm going to give you what I believe it is right here. All right, this is what I believe is going on. All right, obviously we're not on a round sphere that's actually moving through space. We're stationary. We're inside of an enclosed system that was created by the Most High, with water on each side of it, underneath or out, and outside of it and under us. Now I'm going to show you what I believe the actual surface of the Earth looks like and why it's the South and North Pole exists in their minds. Okay? So what we have is a construct, okay? And on the sides we have a construct, right? Let's just say it's a building, all right? And here's the Earth. I'm going to show you the center of the Earth right here where the mountains, all right, rise up to the top where the tree of life was pulled out of. This tree was the whole landmass in the middle, which is what we actually live on right now. Part of the landmass that we live on right now was underwater at one point. There was a great sea that wrapped around the 4 landmasses. But as you see, the top of our area north was already a landmass. All right, so when they chopped this tree down, the water came and covered most of the earth that wasn't a cavern. So you had valleys that were inside going around the earth in a circle. We had some valleys here, okay? But what we have in the center is the processor and the pole, okay, the North Pole. There it is right there. Everything is attached to the track, and this thing is the actual clock that moves around. If you look, it looks like a clock, okay? What we have is the South Pole here in the center on the ground, right where the bottom of the mountain is inside the mountain. And on the top of the North Pole is the North Pole, okay? So we have South Pole here, and we have the North Pole at the top. And this is what it actually looks like, and it's not a round ball, and we are moving at the top of this formation on the track. This whole thing is moving around with the structures. And the mirror system is creating that darkness on the outside to look blue. Okay, when we look up, we see blue. When we get past the sun structure, we see black. It's obvious we're going past the light. So our South Pole is surface level at the mountain in the center of the Earth, which is north. Everything is north in a circle. North is always in the center in a circle, okay? South is always everywhere else away from north. That way, that way, that way, that way. This is a wall, folks. And that wall, you're not allowed past that because the firmament structure is subbeamed on the outside of it. That's why you're not allowed to see it. Because it would easily show you immediately that we're not on a round ball if you saw that. Okay, so again, South Pole here, North Pole at the top, where the tree of life is above where second heaven is, right there. That area is in darkness, and that's where the North Pole is. So the South Pole is actually the North Pole on the round Earth. That's where it is. It's not underneath of it, okay, because there is no underneath. There's water under it, okay? So the poles go up the pole. You have the bottom of the pole is south, top of the pole is north. And that's how the actual setup is. Remember what I said. The system above us is a track with machines, and it creates aerials that are offspring of the Nephilim. Where are they getting some of this material? They're using the blood from the offspring that's in the ground, and they're blowing it through the matter in the reservoir of these pipes that are up in the sky. That we watch these massive faces blow through every day. They're on rings. There's a massive kingdom up there you can't see because there's a mirror system over top of us like that. That's a cage that was built around the sun. And that's what that means. There's more above that. We can't see God's throne, and we can't see the rest of the levels of heaven above that. But we are enclosed in this system. We're inside this little carnival ride, and south is down, north is up. Okay, guys, God bless you. This is the Chief, and that's the word for the day.
Hey guys, how are you? This is the Chief here, live in the sanctuary, the night version here. I just want to show you some pretty clear pictures of what a Matterhorn is, how clouds are created, how weather is created, controlled, how the principalities of evil are actually on a track and disguised and cloaked, and these faces are actually real that create the weather. I'm going to show them all to you. They're very vivid, and this is very colorful here in this picture over top of the Washington Capitol, where this started to manifest. And what we're seeing, and I'm going to draw it out for you real quick, this area right here is coming out of a Matterhorn. Let me show you what a Matterhorn is. That is a Matterhorn. It's like that. And this area is the manifestation. All right, you have a guy here. There's eyes. You have a guy here. You have a nose and 2 eyes here. And they're blowing through an instrument, which is a round circle, a ring of weather, which is described in Enoch as 2 rings of weather around the sun area of the structure. 2 for bad, 1 for good. They're blowing through this pipe and it's creating these things. Now these guys are on top of the track, and it seems to be that the track has to be getting much lower than what we expected, and it's dropped a considerable amount. And that track is not very far above us, guys. I can tell you right now, it's in a position where we're in big trouble here soon, because these entities and these spiritual entities are being conjured by the elite. The principalities of evil, guys, are conjured by our elite that sold themselves out to the devil. And the devil is running the show, but these people are working. And the people that you see above you, these faces, I'm going to show them really clear to you. There's no way you can come away with this without even knowing. When you see what you're about to see, and I show you all the different types of Matterhorns that blow this matter out, that create the weather and all this other evil stuff that's happening. We have to understand that weather itself, in its plain form, was never actually in the Garden of Eden. Okay, it was always paradise. There was no inclement weather, or weather itself never existed, because to have weather, you would have to have different types of weather. So in reality, it never existed until we were trapped inside this dome. And these fixtures are on a track, and they're above us, and it's making it look like a sky that's endless, and it's not. It's an absolute ceiling that's absolutely coming down on top of us. And the last act is about to play out in the Truman Show for real. Now, these people mean business, and these are the principalities of evil that create everything in our world. And I mean disasters and everything. I can show you the faces of any disaster you can show me. Volcano eruptions, earthquakes. You see lights in the sky. Guys, when I see the lights in the sky, you see where they're coming from. The same people are blowing through these pipes. These pipes are something that we don't understand the properties of. But I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to take the picture off of it. If I erase some of this real quick, I can isolate some of these people on here for you. Alright, right here, there's a guy's face in blue. Do you see it? You see that with the two eyes and the nose right there, and his mouth right here? He's looking like a blue statue looking dude. Okay, you see the face? Alright, let's get rid of that one. Right next to him is a guy in green. If you see him, and he's right next to the pipe, but the pipe seems to be coming from another face, which is right here. Hold on. The guy's face is right there. You see it in there? You see his face, and his nose is right there. Alright? There's another face right here. See that one? His eyes and nose. And finally this one, with the light right shining in his head on a headdress, a bar that goes across his head. You see the light shining? And here's his nose right here. Alright, and he's blowing through these tubes. I'm going to show you the Matterhorns up close. Alright, you can actually see the Matterhorn on this one, but I'm going to show it to you real close. That's a Matterhorn, guy. It looks just like a horn. And what's coming out of these bars are these horns. I don't know if the horns come out or part of the magic of it or what, but these horns seem to come and they protrude out of these bars. And then all these matters and properties start to come out and emanate and manifest through this. And this is what's been going on, but we're getting a better look at it. We're seeing more eyes over here. I mean, they're all the way across. So they're in a circle. They go around a circle, and this thing tilts, guys. These circles tilt. Look at them. Our sky is made up of these big, massive blue and dark and different weird colored people that are spiritual, not physical. But they look physical, guys. I'm going to tell you right now, they're coming from a track that's physical. So whatever's going on here, they look to be, the properties of these things look to be able to be whatever property they want, and physical can be right up there with them. But if they wanted to manifest something out of their mouths, physical, to me, it looks like they could do whatever they want with the property and the matter that they use and how they do this. I'm going to let you watch the video. Okay. Just watch the video and you'll see what I'm talking about. Watch this thing manifest in the orange. You see the big tube and then the manifestation. But go back to where you see it coming from, and you're going to see the horns and the face is blowing through the big giant ring that's right above us on the track. Just can't see these things, guys, but they are coming close and they are being exposed. Watch this. Okay, this is Washington, D.C. I just started editing what I saw. And I gave it some more color, brightened it, and I did exactly what I normally do anytime there's an edit. So you can watch me edit this manifestation from these pipes and from these faces that are blowing through off of this ring that goes around in a circle. And it looks like it has many levels to it. Watch how it's manifesting. Look, there's the White House right there. See it in the bottom? Look at the face. It's over on the left there. Look at his face. Look how many big giant faces there are behind the actual orange matter. You see the lights? They're blowing through it too, man. Something's absolutely physical about that. There's something absolutely physical about this manifestation with these lights and this breath. And this, and these, look, there's definitely something there, guys. You see the light shining, and it's manifesting a demon through this tube. Watch it just drop it out the other side. Boom. Boom. I mean, that was pretty blatant. And if you look behind in the sky, there's even one bigger face in the back. Well, you can see there is some spirituality to these properties, which there's also some physicality to these properties if you look. I mean, what are they actually manifesting? To me, guys, that looks like a structure. It might be disguised, and it might actually be different properties, but it's a definite structure. Whatever an organic structure can be, that's what it is. It was created by someone who's a higher intelligence than we are. And it's obvious that they're using properties that we know nothing about. And they're using the breath from these people that are on these wheels. You can see it. Look, bang. Did you see that manifestation right towards the White House? Now, this is craziness. I edited it a little bit. Now you can see how intense some of the shapes of these faces are in this manifestation. You don't get this information. This kind of stuff doesn't come. Guys, this is getting serious here. Look at the faces on the wheel that are looking down. These are spiritual principalities of evil in Ephesians 6:12. You're actually seeing it. You're actually seeing the principalities of evil on a wheel, a structure that's disguised in the night sky. It's more than disguised. It's like cloaked completely. Whatever property that is, I'm going to tell you right now, that could be a structure at any point. And to me, it looks like something we do not understand. But it is there. And that's not good when you can see demons manifesting from rings on faces off of big structures right over top of your Capitol. And you can see the lightning strikes that we normally see in the sky during earthquakes. There's something magical about these weather rings where when you blow through them, they perform different things. Like earthquakes and volcanoes can erupt by blowing on top of it. Now, we just don't know how weather was created, so you guys can continue to talk about geoengineering, which, in my estimation, is another replication of the actual real thing, which is what you're watching. Weather's created by all this, not what they do. They always try to replicate everything. This is more than replication. This is what organic replication looks like in its purest form. If you want to call anything natural, this is the more natural thing you'll ever see in this universe, is what actually operates it. And what's above you that you can't see. You see that you're not very smart. We're not very intelligent, are we? We're not, because we don't see these guys on a regular basis, only when they manifest like this. They can't hide it anymore, guys. They're so right above us, it's not funny. If they're as close as we say, and these tracks, and these remove these sun structures and the moon, and all these fake things that go around in a circle, when we're sitting in one spot, not moving, and this thing's tilting, giving us some kind of impression that we're moving through free space on a ball, which is an absolute phoniness. We live in a massive kingdom, and all we can see is what we have in this world. We can't see outside what these people operate. It's way worse than the Truman Show, folks. If you can see it's just manifestation from faces that have bars around them with horns coming out. The weather has been operating like this forever. So if you're telling me that chemtrails are killing us, I don't know what to say about it. If those chemtrails are killing us, guys, then shouldn't we never even survived this long? It's been there this long. I don't care if you see chemtrails or not, or what kind of thing that is. If the sky has gotten closer to you, then maybe those chemtrails were all the way up here in the dark and you never saw them until this cage came down. Maybe that's the truth, but if that's the case, if what I see, these are coming out of the structures. These chemtrails are coming out of these structures and are blowing these things. So from what I see, they're part of it. Why you don't even know it. You can't look. First of all, again, what the conspiracy theory, the word itself, right? The origin come from the CIA. It even says it right in Google. I'm afraid the origin of the word chemtrail came from Google and YouTube. That's what I'm afraid of, because that's a false narrative. I don't think that's what they are. They're way more explosive and way more controllable by their spirits than some kind of chemtrail. Whatever they're shooting out of them formations up there, guys, I can tell you this. You better hope they're chemtrails. And I'm telling you right now, they've been around a long time. We just haven't seen them in this form. This has happened before. This has been written before. We've seen books that talk about these things that shoot across the sky. We don't even know. They don't know what these things were either. So what do you expect them to write in their books? And then you expect the elite to translate that, and then you expect to believe it? You better open up your mind a little bit, because what you see is what you get in this world. And I don't even want to finish that statement. As corny as it is, but it's true. Right? That's Jack and the Beanstalk. There's the whole story right there. These giants. When they blow, I'm going to show you some more stuff that's going to blow your mind. Hold on. It's just maps and stuff. I'm going to show you the maps that actually show these faces making the weather. I'm going to show you maps from years ago that no one even knows existed. You can go to a school for 4 years, a college, and you'll never know these maps existed unless you look for it. That's how gay this world is. Okay, hold on a second. Alright, I have taken you back to the famous Urbano map, the artist who drew the map in 1589. Alright, and in that area, they knew the shape of the earth, guys. It actually changed. In Enoch, there's phoenixes, and they call them chalderas or chaldries. Alright, these things. You see what they look like? Gargoyles, but they're giants watching. Alright, they're guarding the structures. And if you see here, there's a depiction of your angel right there. Okay? The faces, the blue, Mr. Blue Sky, the faces I show you all the time, creating the weather, is showing you there in 1589. It's showing you even their faces, and it's showing you that they're manifesting demons from their mouth. The only thing it's not showing you is the bar in front of their mouth where it's coming from. Okay? But over here you see the circle of the sky. So in second heaven, in the second part, you have a circle above you. Okay, that's a platform. Alright, that goes around the actual earth. And they sit on that level out there. And they move across your earth, and the structure and the whole land itself that was pulled out of the dang earth with the tree of life is moving across. And I'm going to show you, at least the structure is anyway. The tree of life actually itself might be just above us, outside of our realm, okay, where we look up and this cage is in front of us where this track is. We're not going to see that because we don't see anything but that, what they showed us on that track. We don't see anything but what's on the ceiling, guys. That's it. And as you look closer, you see more of them. And you can see these are Nephilim. Okay, these are the Elohim. And these are manifested demon children or something, or offspring. And you can see these are spirits. Okay? They look real people, don't they? You see we just showed it to you, the matter that they manifest in different forms. Okay, I just showed you that, right? Hold on. See it again on this map, on the edges. You see it on the edges? Look, just look at all the faces blowing through these pipes. You see the pipes right here? Very clear there. You see the instrument in his mouth? It looks like a I can't even tell you what that, French horn or something, but they're tied to something like a wheel, and they move around the wheel. Okay, as you can see, the Earth itself, right here, the original Earth itself, where the tree was here. You see, when that tree was pulled up, do you see all the land masses around here? Now you see the angels on the corners, right? The four winds that guard the actual square. When we talk about the game Jeopardy, it says circle gets the square, right? So the inside out inversion of God's world would be the circle outside the square. All right, do you understand how they would control the square under here? What happened was this whole land was pulled out of the ground. The whole tree of life is above us, and the cage is on top of us. This is the area that was pulled out. You can see that most of our land, okay, comes from that area. You can even see Greenland was already there, guys. So you can see part of our land here and parts underwater. This big ocean that went around the tree of life that had the four rivers that ran through it right there. You can see the tree right there. See it? That's the tree of life, guys. The tree of good and evil right there with it. The double tree. All right? Even Hilton has a double tree, guys, if you know that or not. Hilton has a double tree inn they named right after this. And you can see there's circles. See these circular patterns here? They're trying to show you that's some kind of a globe or something, but you can tell it's not. All the way back to we can possibly go to the first ones. They're all flat surfaces with circles around it. And you don't know if those are elevated circles or they're just circles inside a circle. But I would assume this is elevated. This is the structure. As you can see, there's tracks right there with things on them that look like cars. You see that? This is how they knew, guys. There's the hole that Earth was pulled out of right there. The tree was pulled out of. The whole land came out. The horizon here in this area right here. See it? Okay, you see the faces that you can't see above that? You see the veil and his face goes underneath of that. You see that? Okay, that's happening in the sky right there. There's his face. It's right there, guys. These guys aren't blowing matter through it, but this is what the ring looks like, and their faces are on that ring. And they're manifesting light right through there. Something's going on there that day. Let me see if this is it. There it is. Alright, take a look at the horn, guys. Up close. Check this baby out. There it is right there. Do you guys see it? We stop it right there. There you go. You can see it closer there. See the horn right there, guys? Right there. You see it? Right there. So these horns protrude out of that instrument that their mouth is wrapped around. And you can see something coming out of there. There's some type of properties that's crazy magic coming out of these properties. Now you can see a face right there blowing it out. But look at the horn itself. Wow. I mean, that's just, look at the whole structure, guys. See it? The whole rock formation that came out of the ground. Look how big that bitch is. Jeez, look at that. Look at the technique on that and everything. Look at the detail on it. Look at the rim. Look over at the back. Look at the bottom of the sun. Look at the big... Let me show you something. Hold on a second. Hold on. Alright. First off, there's a guy sitting here. His face has a bar on it right there. You can see his face. Let's take this off. There's another guy right here. He's there behind the bar. There's more here, but if you see down here's another face right here. Look at this here. There's a track on the outside that's moving this thing. Look at it. That's a level, like a platform that's coming down that used to be higher or something. Look at there's two faces in here. Right next to the sun. These are blowing through these trumpets right here. They look like trumpets, but they could be French horns. I don't know what they are, but they're just wind instruments that create this weather from the breath. Now, there's something that has to be coming from somewhere. Like the breath has to be getting moisture from somewhere. And I would say there's water up there. And on that level, that's what Enoch said. He said he looked up, there's a great sea. I mean, how can this great sea be right above you and you not see it? That's because it has to be because of the ceiling that's up there. Look how big this guy's nose is right here. You see it? And he's blasting through here. And that's why you see all these clouds come out of the sun and then move that way. And you see them going that way while the sun structure is moving that way. If that makes any sense. I hear people say that a lot. Like, what's up with those clouds moving in two different directions? And well, there you have it. But that Matterhorn, pretty clear. Right? Let's go back to the Matterhorn. Oh, hold on, that's right. Hold on, back. Back to the Matterhorn. As you see it right there, it comes into focus right there, and I'll show you. As you see right there. Do you see the horn itself? You can see it now. And behind it, you can see that it's coming from something like a ring or an instrument. And something behind that is blowing through it at a massive, massive phase. Just absolutely astronomically large. There it is. I mean, you can really see it clear there, guys. That's the Matterhorn. They're coming, when they blow through these things, that's why you see the light. The light pops out. These horns come right out of the area that they're blowing through. It's really insane. I've been watching this for a long time. That's why I can see it and show it to you and know where it's at. This is where our cloud matter's coming from. And you can really see the face back there on that one. Let's see if we can find. Look at the face, guys, next to that. Some of these faces look like the ape Kong, King Kong. That's how some of these faces look like in the rock formation. All I can tell you is this thing makes its own weather, folks. The sun structure and the stuff around it on the sky and on the roof. These spirits are there. They're real. They're coming down too, man. It's time to get serious now. Look at all those faces right there. See that? Do you see all that right there? And the horns blowing out. Look at the horns coming out of the faces. Anybody seeing that? And then you see it. Look, it looks like somebody on top. Another nose. There's levels of these things, and they're on wheels, it looks like. So, all I can tell you is this thing's getting closer, and eventually it's going to be game over. So, I hope people start to see this. Alright, guys, this is the Chief. Alright, still here, still surviving, still trying to hold on. God bless everybody, and we'll see you again soon.